It's now more important than ever to make sure your Medicare coverage is up to date. We all have a few minutes to make a phone call to focus on our health. Get what you're entitled to. Call now. It's free.
Call 1-800-515-4154. That's 1-800-515-4154 now.
Sports are about seconds and inches and the blinks of an eye. That is what separates champions from everyone else. That is what writes history and rewrites it in our very lifetime. A second more, an inch less.
So close!
There was a time when everything stood still.
The game tonight has been postponed.
Through the cracks came light. And then everything became clear. 2020. Someday it will be just the blink of an eye. How humbling to think that what at the time felt like an eternity was only a single tick of the clock in the distance we've traveled together. We are separated by nearly nothing. We are in pursuit of the same goal. The sleep lost and the memories made are for keeps.
This city has gone absolutely wild.
That is yours forever. Because the beating of your heart, the adrenaline in your veins, the fight in your eye is why we made it. Back to the field, to the court, and the ice. To write history. We're back. Because time never stops. And neither do we.
Welcome to Southern Ford Dealers Magic Live. We have waited a very long time to say this. Magic Basketball is back on the NBA campus at Disney in the HP Fieldhouse. Orlando's first game in nearly 5 months, and they will take on the Brooklyn Nets. Nick Vucevic in his 8th season in Orlando, having a terrific year, and Evan Fournier, his good friend, having a career year. And they are excited to get back on the court here today. Amway Center will be our home here on Fox Sports Florida for the next couple of weeks as we bring you Magic Basketball and welcome everyone inside Amway Center. And it is not the same in this building without you, the fans. We miss you. Stay safe, and we certainly hope to see you soon. And oh, how I have missed this guy. Brian, it's great to see you. Welcome back. And it seems like an eternity, but how great is it to be back watching Magic Basketball?
Well, it's great to be back. And obviously, we're 6 feet apart here. Normally, we're a little bit closer, but it's just good to be in your company after 4.5 months of basically doing nothing.
Right.
Great to be back and great to be playing basketball again.
You've asked I stay 6 feet away from you for quite some time.
Well, I was hoping for a little more than 6 feet, but we'll settle for 6.
We certainly will. Well, it's great to be back, and this Magic team, they wanted to keep playing. You go back to early March, they were playing terrific basketball, and that's the subject of our opening tip. Right after the All-Star break, Brian, 10 games. They were the best offensive team in the NBA. This team found something. It was unfortunate to have the stoppage.
Yeah, I think Markelle Fultz is a big reason for that. Really kind of coming into his stride, getting a lot of games under his belt, and we played much more up-tempo. James Ennis is another guy that helped a lot at both ends of the floor, offensively and defensively. Evan Fournier with his three-point shooting. Everybody really raised their game after that All-Star break, and you can see the numbers there.
Almost 120 points per game, best in the league, but the defense took a dip, allowing 118 points per game, and that's something certainly Steve Clifford would like to balance out a little bit. He's a defensive-first guy.
Yeah, it's one of the hardest things in this game to do is be a really prolific offensive team and a great defensive team. Sometimes you're just going to have slippage at the defensive end.
Get you our inside look. It's brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Let's go places. So what's on the line here today? Well, the Magic trail the Brooklyn Nets, their opponent today, by half a game, and they can leapfrog Brooklyn into seventh. That is very important because of play-in implications. Not here. Spencer Dinwiddie, Taurean Prince, and DeAndre Jordan, COVID-related, and they opted out of the rejoin. So did Wilson Chandler, and Nick Claxton is battling an injury. So you've got 7 Nets. This is a completely different team, Brian, than what we're used to seeing, the Brooklyn Nets here today.
And I'll tell you what, this is a coach's nightmare when key players are out and missing in a game. Those other guys that are playing today, they're going to want to prove that they're NBA players and bona fide NBA players, and it'll be a tough game today.
Your most important game right out of the gates,
right,
and against a bunch of guys fighting for the NBA lives. Yeah, I can see that being difficult for a coach to wrap their head around. All right, let's head now here inside Amway Center to the Advent Health Practice Facility. Jeff Turner is standing by. JT, the Nets are battling injuries. The Magic seemingly getting healthy. Great to have Jonathan Isaac back. He looked good in 7 minutes on Monday.
It was amazing, wasn't it, Dante? I think the idea was to reward Jonathan Isaac for all his hard work, get him some minutes in a game. It was a reward for him, they thought, but it turned out to be a reward for all of us. How about the 7 minutes J.I. was on the floor? Boy, looked good, did he? The stroke there, the three, he ran the floor. He did everything he needed to do to test that knee and build that confidence. Tough and one there. And then how about moving without the basketball into his shooting spot, and then the spot up in the end, the shot, able to take contact, step to the line. Boy, everything that needed to go well for Jonathan Isaac did so. You couldn't have scripted this any better, guys. 7 minutes, look at that, 13 points, almost perfect from the field, perfect from behind the arc, the 7 rebounds, and oh, how about the 2 steals? Boy, it looked good. He will not start today, but he'll be coming off the bench. We can expect maybe a few more minutes. We'll have to wait and see that, but it's so good to have J.I. back, and it's good to have you two back in the fold as well.
You as well, JT. Look forward to the call with you and David, certainly, and a coach's dream having a guy like Jonathan Isaac back.
No question about that, and he'll be coming off the bench today, as Jeff said, but it's just so good to see him healthy and back and able to play.
No, it certainly is, and we're getting closer to that opening tip. A little midday magic coming your way as Orlando makes its seeding game debut as they will take on the Brooklyn Nets 32 minutes away from our opening tip. We are just getting started here on our pregame show. We'll be back in just a moment.
America, we want to help get you back to it. And here's how, with the Ford Promise. Visit your Ford dealer. Finance a new, certified pre-owned or used vehicle through Ford Credit, and if you lose your job, you can return it for up to 1 year from the day you bought it. You can also get 0% APR financing for 72 months across the Ford lineup. Let us help get you back to it with the Ford Promise.
This season is for the fans. Even when the pros went dark, you still found a way to light it up and turn stay at home into home field advantage. Sure, sometimes it was a stretch, but you never lost that spirit of competition. Yeah, you earned this season, fans, so kick up your feet and enjoy. We'll take it from here. Celebrate the return of sports. We've added a $10 credit to every FanDuel account, so you can get in on the action for free, no strings attached. Only on FanDuel.
I wrote my name in place. It was my shelter, was my home. Oh, my. Don't take me away, just take me home. Don't take me away, just take me home. Should build a house and have a home. Take memories and mix them with the old and have a place to go at the end of the day where we can smile and be happy. Was my shelter, was my home.
Did you finally eat that 9-month-old chili in the way back of your freezer? Did you trick yourself into enjoying exercising just to feel something? Did you give your dog so much attention they will never emotionally recover from you going back to work? Then you earned a great deal at the Toyota Big One sales event. Get great deals on new Toyota vehicles, Toyota certified used vehicles, and in our parts and service departments. Contact your local Toyota dealer today.
Magic Live, the pregame show on Fox Sports Florida, is brought to you by your local Ford dealers and by Acura. Discover the long line of Acura excellence at your Central Florida Acura dealers. And the Florida Department of Transportation. Drive sober or get pulled over. Welcome back to our pregame show. You're looking at the Orlando Magic arriving at the NBA campus at Disney back on July 7th. You see that shirt, get off the bench, get into the game, and vote. Well, that made quite a bit of noise, and it's quite a powerful message. And these shirts are available for you as well. OrlandoMagic.ordernext.com, and proceeds will benefit the Florida Rights Restoration Coalition, doing terrific work. So again, benefiting the FRRC. The president and executive director of the FRRC is Desmond Meade. He went into the design of these shirts and helped putting the Orlando Magic together to make that powerful message. He has an incredible story, and I spoke with Desmond Meade. He is tonight's L3 Harris hometown hero. First of all, just tell us a little bit about the coalition and the great impact that it's had.
Well, Dante, first of all, thank you for having me on. Our coalition, the Florida Rights Restoration Coalition, is an organization that's led primarily by people who've had previous felony convictions, and we call them returning citizens, as well as family members who have loved ones that's been impacted by the criminal justice system. One of our major claim to fame is that we're the organization that led the effort to help pass Amendment 4, and we're leading efforts right now to make sure that as many of the 1.4 million Floridians that potentially benefited from the passing of Amendment 4, that they have an opportunity to participate in our democracy.
Can you tell us a little bit more about Amendment 4 and the great work that went in to get that passed, Desmond?
Yes. So prior to Amendment 4, Florida was only one of 4 states that permanently disenfranchised American citizens. And what that means is that, once a person was convicted of a felony offense, that they would lose the right to vote for life. And this was a practice that found its resurgence back during the Reconstruction era and have a really bad history as it relates to racism and its use to prevent the newly released slaves from participating in democracy. Well, Florida was one of the last 4 states that were a holdout and was still holding on to this old Jim Crow law. And what Amendment 4 did was create a pathway that Americans from all walks of life, all political persuasions, are now able to vote again after they've served their time, after they've paid their debt to society.
Well, that's terrific work, and we applaud those efforts. I want to touch on your story, Desmond, if you could, as a former homeless returning citizen, right, to the title that you have now. Not only that, Floridian of the Year, 2019, and on the Times 100 Most Influential People list. What an incredible story.
Man, listen, I think it's a typical story about America, right? America is a country that believes in second chances. We believe in the underdog coming back, right? That we might get knocked down, but we don't stay down, that we come back up, right? And that was mine. Not too long ago, I was standing in front of railroad tracks waiting on a train to come so I can jump in front of it. You know, at the time I was homeless. I was addicted to drugs, recently released from prison, and didn't have any hope. But the train didn't come, and I crossed those tracks. And I checked myself into drug treatment. After completing that, I moved into a homeless shelter. And while there, I decided to go to school. And so I enrolled in one of the local colleges in South Florida, ended up graduating at the top of my class, did extremely well, pursuing a bachelor's degree. And eventually, I was accepted into law school. And in May of 2014, I graduated with a law degree while committing my life or dedicating my life to giving back to my community, to make my community, my state, my country a better place, not for me, but for everybody, right? And in that process, we ended up passing Amendment 4. I was eventually named Floridian of the Year, Central Floridian of the Year, and then, of course, Time 100 most influential person in the world in 2019. And I think that what sits at the heart of even these accolades in my story is that any one of your viewers, right, can be great. That you don't have to be a rock star. You don't have to be a celebrity or an athlete to actually be a very influential person in the world and to contribute to making your community a better place. All you need to do is have a desire to serve and to serve with love. And so that's been my story, man. It's about coming from the bottom, making my way to where I am today. And all of that is just fueled by a natural desire to create a better society for us all.
We thank you for the time. We applaud you. We celebrate the work that you've done here in Central Florida. And as a small token of our appreciation, Desmond, you got a Magic jersey coming your way. So we want to thank you for that, right? So, we're going to send it your way. We're happy to tell your story. Keep up the great work, okay,
That's
Desmond?
what's up. A big shout out to the Orlando Magic. From the top of the management all the way down, Coach Steve Clifford, he's amazing. All of the staff, they're amazing. The ball players, that we could tell that they have a sincere, genuine desire to really plug into the community, and I respect that so much. As a matter of fact, I believe that the Orlando Magic is setting the standard for the rest of the NBA.
You know what? You're right, and we appreciate that. And again, thank you so much, and it was an honor to talk with you here today, and keep up the great work, okay, Desmond?
All right, let me get my jersey now.
It's coming your way. You got it. All right. Just an incredible human being. Great to catch up with Desmond Meade. He's got such a powerful message, and he spoke to this Orlando Magic team via Zoom a couple of weeks ago. They're still buzzing about it, and you can understand why. He's very excited, and he's known nationally for his job in criminal justice reform. OrlandoMagic.ordernext.com. Get your T-shirt. Proceeds benefit the Florida Rights Restoration Coalition. We're getting closer to the opening tip, the Magic and the Nets. We'll be back in just a moment on Fox Sports Florida.
It was in January where I actually came down with, I would say, the crud. And I thought, well, maybe now is the time that I would try and utilize the Orlando Health virtual visit. I got in to see the doctor in less than 5 minutes. And the doctor called in a prescription, and we were able to pick that up from our pharmacy same day. I would definitely recommend Orlando Health virtual visit.
It's bow time. When you look at this bold and beautiful Bojangles Cajun Filet biscuit, you might be thinking, did they make it extra special from scratch just for the commercial? Nope. We prepared this fried chicken flavor grenade the exact same way in real life, because that's where you eat it. So go get your actual real hands around a pair of them, because we've got a great deal going, also in real life. Start your day with a legendary Cajun Filet biscuit. It's bow time.
This is Stir. As in a free app that gets you free live TV. Listening. It's 30 channels and growing. Good. Classic shows. Sci-fi, sports. Yes, and yes. Hundreds of movies. And it's free. Watch it anytime, anywhere.
How much would you pay for that?
For free.
It could be like this for days, man.
Can I get Stir on my Roku? Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, your phone, your tablet. So, Stir. Stir. Download the Stir app for free TV today.
welcome back.
Yeah, man, how you doing? You good? I know you like that. I know you like that. How long you been back, man? You know you like that. You know you like that. What? You know you like that. Come on. You know you like that.
Magic Live, the pregame show on Fox Sports Florida, is brought to you by your local Ford dealers and by AutoNation, America's largest automotive retailer with over 100,000 new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from coast to coast. Drive pink. Visit AutoNation.com. And we encourage you to join us on Fox, #MagicOnFox, and maybe one of these photos can be yours on a future telecast here on Fox Sports Florida. Under 20 minutes away now from the opening tip, the Magic will play the Brooklyn Nets, the first of 8 seeding games. Nick Vucevic is primed and ready to go, the veteran for the Orlando Magic, and leading the way for the Brooklyn Nets will be Karis LeVert. His last 16 games as a starter, 24 points a game. That's a proven scorer, Brian.
Score the basketball. Out for a while with an injury, but back now, ready to go. And it's going to be interesting to see this Nets team with so many players out.
Certainly will. We remember that 51-point performance he had a couple of days before the hiatus. Uncharted territory. We have no idea what to expect. So let's try to get some insight from Magic head coach Steve Clifford, who's standing by with David Steele. David?
All right, thank you, Dante. With head coach Steve Clifford down at Disney, the NBA campus. Coach, you look great. It's great to have you back on our pregame show. And also, it's great to have the NBA back. How do you feel about the ball club's readiness for today's game and just a general thought about how you feel about being back to meaningful basketball now?
Well, I mean, it's great to be back, and I think the guys are enjoying it too. The opportunity to play not just games, but meaningful games, which is, it's what the NBA is all about. I feel this way about our team. They've done a terrific job since we've been down here. I love the way they've practiced, the way we've worked. It's still very difficult to get a feel for where we're at simply because, as you saw last night with the number of turnovers in the games, guys are not back to, NBA type rhythm. And I think these first 3 or 4 games will be similar to the first 3 or 4 games of the regular season. It's going to be, a little bit of rust and not always great execution. And that's where I think effort, intensity, fight, staying together will become critical.
A couple of guys that Magic fans are really interested in, how much they're going to play in this game today and how effective you think they'll be, Jonathan Isaac and Markelle Fultz.
Yeah, they'll both be able to play more than they did the other night. They still, they're still under minute restrictions. And, we have to be careful with both of them. And, they're like everybody else. I think they've worked very hard and they're working hard. And it's just a question of, again, continuing to try to get their games in rhythm.
All right, Coach, thanks for your time. Good luck today.
Thank you.
Back to you, Dante.
All right. Thank you very much, David. Appreciate it. Good to have Steve Clifford back. Good to have Jonathan Isaac and Markelle Fultz back. And again, limited minutes, but they will be back and available. And that's all you ask for, head coach Steve Clifford. And they'll be coming off the bench, and I know that's going to be critical. We saw what Jonathan Isaac did, 13 points in 7 minutes. He had 7 rebounds as well. And Markelle Fultz, who probably eventually, Coach, will go back to that starting point guard.
Yeah, I would think so. It's just because Markelle had to leave the bubble for a little while, and he's back and getting some conditioning. But, both those guys coming off the bench tonight and makes for a pretty good second unit.
It makes for a very good second unit, and that takes us to our coach's clipboard. You have a feeling the depth of this Magic team will be pretty important.
I really do. In this situation, it's almost like coming off a full summer. Your guys are going to be a little bit rusty. Your second unit is going to have a lot to do. Here you see a nice penetration by Michael Carter-Williams. This ends up being a 4-point play for Jonathan Isaac. Markelle Fultz in a pick-and-roll situation turns it into a one-on-one little fall-away jumper. He's really improved his mid-range game as the season went on this year. We see an example there. Here's another situation. Dwight Howard out of position defensively.